Hey Scott, thank you very much, buddy. Hi Jamie, how are you?
Andy, I am good. Happy Thursday to you and everybody else.
Yes, yes. Happy Thursday, and thanks everybody for joining the trading studio. My name is Andy, and that's Jamie and Scott, and we'll be taking you through the next 45 minutes or so, bringing you some good stuff, I hope, and I think it will be. I'm going to definitely share some insights today that we've learned, over the years, and let's just dive in. Hi, Mike. How are you? Let's dive in and go over the disclaimer real quick. Okay, we are content publishers here at Trade Ideas. Okay, uh, we are. This is for educational purposes only. Nothing that you see or hear today should be construed as investment advice. Okay, if you are seeking that kind of information, you want to look for a registered advisor or a stockbroker, somebody who can legally dish out that information. All right, the agenda for today, and I think this is a very important webinar today, just because crazy market. And as a matter of fact, I mentioned in our traders chat here at Trade Ideas that I've never seen anything like it in 25 years, and basically been staring at the market for 7 hours a day for 25 years. But hey, it is what it is, and for some people, it's working great. I know a lot of you probably have 401ks that are doing very well, but for trading, it can be difficult, and we'll talk about that when we get down to it. You can see it there when what's working, old school stocks. Jamie, when's the last time you see Microsoft and Dell and stocks like that? That's like the good old days, isn't it?
No,
Leading
I know.
the
I keep seeing
charge. Yeah,
Dell hit my all-time high, and I'm like, really?
I
Dell,
know,
Microsoft? The
I know.
old four horsemen. Two of
That's
the old
right.
four horsemen. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And of course, materials are doing good. REITs are going crazy. A lot of big cap stocks. And I'm going to share with you a couple of windows. One's an oldie I dug up called Rangefinder, and then we're going to look at one called Above All Major SMAs, just to kind of take a look at what's working out there to give you guys an idea. Uh, and then we'll take a look at the price alert game. You know what? In all this mess, Jamie, and these all-time highs, the best trade was a short. So just goes to show you, man, it's
It
you can
does not surprise.
no, no, not at all. All right, so let's back out of this. No, I can't do that because I got to talk about the support and training and education here. Bear with this, you regulars on here, but it's important for the new people. I did see there's quite a few new people in here, so I want to let you know that this is a very powerful software. Uh, Jamie and I have been using it, pretty much since inception. One of the very first users, and uh, we know, the punch it has and the ability that it has. But we are here to let you know that there's plenty of backup. You get plenty of help here at Trade Ideas, and I want to show you, a lot of these areas where you can find the support. First of all, foremost, probably the traders room. It's a free room for everybody. Okay, you do not have to be a subscriber to Trade Ideas, okay, to get into our trading room, and uh, we think that you will and hope that you will. But it's free for everyone. Barry is wide open to help anybody has a question. All right, he encourages it, so don't feel like there's a lot of traders in there that you can't ask a question, because it's open for that as well. Webinars Monday through Thursday at 5 Eastern time. And you can see the lineup there. It's myself, Jamie, and Steve usually kind of manhandling these. They've been on Wednesday. Dan Merkin, our CEO, and Brad Williams, our CTO, have a great little demonstration for you, and great Q&A. And then, of course, the support webinar. I will go to the next slide to talk more about this, because more people need to come to this support webinar. It's a great place. And the reason it is, we take over Barry's live stream for about an hour every day, Monday through Friday at noon. And we just open it up for Q&A. There's nothing on the agenda to show you. We just open it up so you can ask questions, and we can demonstrate you on the software how to answer your questions. So it's a great venue for Q&A. So be sure, if you can make this, come here instead of just sending an email. Okay, an email, you're just going to get back an email from us, and you're going to be scratching your head trying to decipher what exactly we're talking about. So it's so much better if you have a visual, and in the support daily support session you do have a visual. All right, I'll save this for Scott as we head out later on, and also there'll be a coupon code for you, so discount code, if you will. All right, so let's talk about the market a little bit here, because if we just look at the SPYs and the Qs, boy, that's the weekly there, which is just as absurd as the daily. And let's put on the daily, which boy, just how powerful is that? It looked like you may be putting in a short-term top yesterday, only to come in to this morning, and I'm sure a lot of shorts got burned, coming in thinking they, picked a short-term top, and we gap almost higher than yesterday's close and just move higher all day. So really frustrating. This is why you don't try to pick tops. It's one thing if you're putting on a hedge for long positions, but to just blindly try to pick a top can be very dangerous. It's the same as trying to pick bottoms for no reason at all. But boy, the strength is there, and we'll talk later on about where the strength is. Take a look at the Qs. I'm not going to break down this too much because there's really nothing to say. I mean, when you get this far above all your moving averages, it's just a powerful bull market. And it's funny, you look at the SPYs are still below average. Not a lot of volume. Let me pull up you can see not a lot of volume in this whole move. Had some decent volume on these 2 days and toward the breakout here, but then we just been kind of moving higher. But when I show you some of these stocks that are hitting these all-time highs, you're going to see some nice relative volume in there, and I was really quite surprised, and we'll share that window with you here later. But just boy, just a lot of where it stops, nobody knows, and so it's just. But I mean, there will be obviously a back and fill at some point, or at least some rest and some sideways action, because it's getting out of hand, dangerously out of hand, meaning that you're really, you're possibly setting ourselves up for a major, hard pullback when you just keep going higher and higher with no breath at all, really. All right, let me erase these and pull up the Qs real quick. Qs yesterday finally reached. I'm sorry, the day before. Yesterday was an ugly day, just like the spiders, but lo and behold, just right back to all-time highs now in the Qs. The diamonds, pretty much very similar to what you're seeing in the SPYs there. IWM, still not really doing a whole lot. Looks like yesterday was going to kind of lead the way. It actually finished up yesterday as the other averages finished down quite a bit, or not quite a bit, but finished down. And so I thought there may be a little continuation, but no, they just kind of took a breather today, gapped up, and just never could get anything going. But Jamie, I don't know if there's anything you can add to the market here. It's just insane.
up and away. It's just up and away, and on, like you were reiterating, the low volume on the index, but the stocks leading the charge, showing volume. It's just it's a little tricky at these levels to find those stocks. As we've been talking about ad nauseum for the past couple of weeks. It's almost like flip a coin on the breakouts. Some of them go like Playboy, PLBY. I mean, I saw it, I didn't hit it, and it's been one of the biggest movers out there. And then one that'll look just like that will fail. So yeah, at these levels, and we've often talked about this, it gets tricky.
It does.
Everybody sees all-time highs, but the difficulty level gets kicked up a notch or two.
Well, a lot of problem for traders is, and we'll talk about this, I mean, a lot of the stocks that are doing very, very well right now can be very boring stocks, although Dale, you can see today, Dale had a really nice move. Of course, it was a pretty big gap up, but still on the intraday there was a very nice little horseshoe pattern, just boom. So, $2.50 there just in a couple of hours for those who don't mind playing what can usually be a very mundane stock. But hey, sometimes you just got to go, you got to forget sexy and go where the money's going. So we'll talk more about that here in a minute. But if you want to spot. Not a whole lot of action. I noticed that two of the Hollies today did 0 trades.
Yep, sat on the bench.
Yeah. That's okay. I don't mind that at all. But unless you want to talk more about this overall market recap, you can grab it and go over the few SPY trades there.
Yeah.
Oh, there was one good one in there.
All right, one moment. I think I got it now. All
right.
right, so, as Andy was just talking about, we got 0 trades from 1.0, 0 trades from 2.0. Good old Neo, not to be outdone, kicks out 5 signals. But as we've talked about before, market conditions, not the easiest to trade right now. And on the same topic, when the market is just up right now, it is harder for the AI, who is statistically weighted, to find that statistical alpha because there's no data to analyze. Where we need to flatten out for a little bit in order for the data banks of Holly to start taking in information to make sense of the pattern. So that probably explains why we had 0 from 1.0 and 2.0. And not a whole lot to talk about on Neo, but always a little bit of something here as far as the spread between conservative and moderate profit here. These two guys right here, we got a little bit right here on the WRI, just not a whole lot. So let's take a look at that one. Well-behaved trade, so to speak. Entry signal coming right here, 29.89. All right, and then just up and away. All you had to do is be patient. As you can see here, 199 in conservative mode. Holly calling it right here at the end of this shaded area. You could have held on for just a little bit more, but an extra 38 bucks, $37 there, risking 100, still a good 2R return on that trade. Now, you could have even, if you'd been watching this one all day, noticed the line that I've drawn right here. All right, it did take most of the day, but it did pop right here. Let's see what time that was. We had about an hour and 45 minutes left, and an add-on is an add-on. Surely a low risk add-on here, but if you tagged it for a little bit more at 30.50, we did close up at the 30.90 level, so another 40 cents was in play there once we broke out of that range there. But just a solid trade all the way around, a little bit of add opportunity on WRI. Now this guy right here, sometimes there's things we can't see in these numbers here. No spread between conservative and moderate profit, but look at the timing here. All right, we got the entry signal right up here at 21.13, and Holly ends up closing it right here in the profit save mode. But that was a big percentage that was on the table there for a little while. 21.13, bottoming out. Let's see, right here at 19.07. So that was 2 points of potential. Okay, if you didn't take some here, well, then it just quickly went away. Nature of the markets here lately. If it's there, you better take a little bit off the table because there's always a good chance it might just go away. So big percentage here initially, and then by the time the trade was done, just a little bit. But of course, as traders, when we're seeing a big move like this in such a short amount of time, a lot of the times we're going to take half, maybe set the other half back to break even, in which case it would have got you out. But a lot more potential could have been had here based on what we see just in these numbers here. Other than that, you can see exactly what the rest of these trades are yielding. Well, in other words, the AI was doing good in its conservative exits today, okay? Because if you would have tried to hang in this one, you would end up losing, whereas the AI flatted it. Not a bad exit signal there. GSK, we got the infamous double signal here today. One at 8:35, one about an hour later. Once again, the AI making a decent exit here and flatting the trade. Had we stayed in it, would have been a loser. And then this one just not so pretty, just a plain old stop hit with not really any trade around potential, because as we can see from the aggressive column, if we didn't get out, we would have lost a lot more. So pretty slim pickings for Holly today, but a couple of good things in the WRI, little add-on opportunity, and then taken some of this INTZ off the table when the iron was hot. Could have made a lot more. But hey, just keeping in tradition with what we've been talking about, Andy, it's getting tough up here, and the AI is showing us the same thing.
And you know what? That's a very good point. And this is where it's not fair to Holly. I think I'm glad you brought that INTZ, because if you're just looking at the columns there, you're thinking, oh, great. No, that wasn't not a good call. Was it? But look at that. You had $4 in that trade on a $21. That's a huge percentage move. So, you know, that's where Holly, you know, I guess it barely missed the target, huh? It never. Look how close he got to that target.
Oh yeah, we got 1783, and the low of that candle was 1907.
Oh wow. See, so you came real close to a target, which is a huge move, a huge percentage move. So that's really not fair to this. I mean, anybody trading that, you know, if you if you flatted that trade, I don't know, I just feel sorry for you, because that's one you got to ring the bell on at least some of your product. Jamie was saying at least half when you get a $4.
Well, and that's just the thing. We're starting to see a lot of things that, if we're using the hunting analogy, it's like all of a sudden we're seeing all these animals that haven't been around forever. Now they're showing
Right.
up. You know, shorts that do this in an up market, and keeping in mind that the market was this today, gap up and continue, and then we had this guy going down. Of course, a lot of these moves are going to be short-lived, but then, as you were indicating earlier, and I think I know the price alert that you're talking about, Andy, from last week, kicking out 12% or 17% today, or total, over a 4-day move. So, you know, Andy and I were also talking about, I'm starting to see a lot more larger cap stocks break down, okay? Pop all-time lows and break down. We got Wish doing that today. Ride, one of the darling electric vehicle stocks, down in the doldrums and broke today. So more and more large cap stocks starting to come through the no resistance ticker. But at the same time, stocks you never would have thought show up in the all-time highs, like Dell and Microsoft, you know? So feels like the winds of change are blowing, but we still got a lot more wind coming at us before I think we see any type of, you know, trend change.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm going to talk a lot about what you're talking about there, Jamie. That's a good segue into pretty much my topic for today. So,
all righty, I'll give it back to you here.
All right. So yeah, Jamie is right. I mean, and we know, because we talk to a lot of traders. We've been doing this a long time. Okay, so we're friends with a lot of traders, big traders out there, and don't think it's just tough for you. It's tough for a lot of guys right now. First of all, when the market, you know, gets like this, none of us are one, you know, to chase. I mean, great if you have a 401k and you got that socked away in some mutual funds or whatever, and that's doing great. But as far as pure trading, all traders would love to see what Steve and I refer to as a bath. You know, this market needs a bath, and which means it needs to needs to come down and have some pullback, you know, and reset. I was hoping we're going to see it over here, but we didn't. And but anyway, it is what it is. But even with the market, you know, doing this, it's like I said the other day. You know, who would have thunk that the market would be blowing up like this, and Apple is still a long ways away from its all-time highs, you know, over 10 points. You know, it's just the way, you know, things are going. And you got Microsoft, you know, and Dell. We mentioned that today. A lot, and home builders, all the materials and stocks. I'm not going to pull up everything, but you'll see a lot of them when I pull up this Rangefinder and this above all the major SMAs. And a lot of the things, you know, like the cannabis stocks, okay, they're dead. Okay, there's no momentum there. Solars have been, you know, dead lately. SunPower, I mean, a lot of the alternative energies, you know, the plug. Remember when plug was just blowing up over here? And I mean, and now, you know, if you keep going back to, you know, the same thing that brought you money, you know, in the past, and keep doing the same thing over and over, and it's not working, you just have to learn, you know, to adjust. And I'm going to give you some ideas here of, you know, what to do. I'm going to show you where the money's flowing. and maybe we can get some ideas of how we can capitalize on some of these big moves. So let's pull this is a top list that I created. This is probably 4 years old. I think I created this Rangefinder. And all it is, it's just a top list. If I go into the configuration, you're going to see there's only one filter here, and that is average daily volume. Okay, has to be at least 500,000 shares a day. Okay, and then all we're doing here is looking. We're just setting up columns, different columns, and I'm just looking for position in 60-minute range, intraday range, 5-day, 10-day, 20-day, yearly, all the way to position in lifetime. And since I created this, we also have position in, I may have to include the 30 and 60-day range in there as well. Heck, let's just do it right now. So we're just going to go right click, because these were added since I built this. So we'll do position in 3-month range, and we're just going to show column. Okay, and then we're going to do position in 6-month range and show column. We're going to have lots of ranges in here, and we're going to do position in 9-month range and show column. And let me get all these where they belong here, so they're all lined up nicely here. Sorry I didn't do this before I came on, but anyway, it's always good so people can see how you can use the columns. You just add them real quick to show, to be able to sort things, you know, according to the columns. So the way I use this is just to hunt for stocks that are strong in any time frame that I want to. Okay, obviously if you sort by position and lifetime range, all these other ranges are going to be, you know, completely over to the right anyway, because it can't be a position high in a lifetime range and not be a high in these other categories. But this could be really handy, and also a very important column is a relative volume. And this is what the comment I made when you looked at the SPYs today, and the SPY was only doing, you know, less than 1 relative volume. I think it was like 0.7 something. But look at the relative volume coming into these stocks right here, guys. I mean, everything is over 1. I mean, everything. So it just goes to show you where the money's flowing. Okay, so we mentioned Dell, you know, we mentioned UNH, you know, healthcare, United Healthcare. Look at that, blowing up to all-time highs. NVIDIA, very strong stock. Another healthcare. So insurance, doing well. Medtronics, BLK. So I'm not just rattling off, guys, what's strong and what's not, okay? Because what I want to do here is show you a lot of these things have been trending for a long time over the last several, you know, weeks anyway, and that's where the money's flowing. So what we want to do is we want to create something. If it's going to continue this pattern, we want to, you know, find ways to profit from it, right? So we don't keep going back into trying the old stuff, the old momentum stuff that doesn't work anymore. And I'm going to show you a great example of why that stuff doesn't work anymore. I have this alert called "I'll take that, thank you." And what this is looking for stocks that have had big momentum, okay, which means the change in 20 days have to be up over 10%. Okay, but now they're pulling back, they're hitting a low, the alert is a low, and they're coming down to their, you know, their 8-period SMA. I think I have one with a 10-period SMA too. I just pulled the wrong one up. But anyway, this one used to back test really well. For the longest time, this was a great back test. I mean, if you bought momentum stocks when they pulled back to their 10-period moving average or their 8-period moving average, more than likely they were going to catch there and the momentum was going to continue higher. Now I'm going to show you the back test I just ran before I came on here, and it's pathetic. This is the back test was used, typically would have a profit factor of about 1.7, 1.8, or even maybe 2 at sometimes. Now it's below 1. This is a losing strategy now, and you factor in, you know, slippage and everything like that. Yeah, this is just an ugly. I would never put this to use right now. And this just goes to show you that the momentum plays are not working. Okay. Of course, there's going to be a few, like Jamie mentioned, Playboy, and there's a few others. But overall, if you're trying to play the momentum game, you're going to be catching the wrong ones. And that just, I was going through my extreme master blaster, you know, and I'm saying, gosh, just one after another failed. I'm not going to show you, but this shows you enough right here that the momentum is not working. Okay, what's working are old school.
Yeah, and Andy, we're getting quite a few questions coming through about the rangefinder.
Sure.
So first off, why is it rangefinder 500? Is it only showing 5 stocks, or was that just the name?
The rangefinder. Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I did have this. I think I have it. Let me see. It's the S&P 500. I should have mentioned that. Let me see if it's still the case.
Okay.
I haven't pulled this up in so long.
Yep.
Yeah, S&P 500. Okay.
Okay, so it's pointed at the 500,
Right.
and then the next
Right.
question was, how are you sorting it? Because obviously the full green blocks mean that the stock is at the top of that respective range. So am I accurate in going, okay, you want to focus on the ones where you see all the green bars, right?
Right. Well, here's the great thing about this is the thing about sorting is you can sort it by anything you want to. Now, if it's me, if I'm looking for opportunity for momentum, I'm going to sort it by relative volume.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. If you're looking for stocks that are strong, I mean, this is the beauty of this thing. Let's say you want to look at the stocks that are at or near their all-time high. You do position in lifetime range. Okay, we know now that these stocks. Now, what I'd like to do is maybe come down here and find stocks that may be close to their all-time high. This one just barely missed it from taking out yesterday's all-time high, but you could come down here and find stocks that are really close to their all-time high, like this Agilent. You know, looks like it potentially might want to go and test this level at some point. There's another one. You know, if I'm playing this, maybe I'd set a price alert right here if it breaks through that range. So this is the way I would use this. I would come through here and set up, you know, maybe some opportunity by looking at these. Look at this one, close to breaking out of its all-time range high. Or, you know, if you think the bull market's going to continue, maybe you look for pullbacks. Maybe you look, you know, this is all subjective to how you want to use it. Texas Instruments would have been a great play today, and I bet you Texas Instruments was coming through this one right here. I'm not going to venture off to that, but maybe you want to look for stocks that are at the, you know, position in year range and not quite at their all-time highs, like this PSA. You know, I'm not sure exactly where that is, but there's a beautiful one right there. Look at the volume coming in this Kimco Realty, another one of the REITs. The IY R's have just been on fire lately. All we got to do is look at, and there you have it. Okay, if it's going to continue, maybe you want to look at something like this that's maybe trying to take out yesterday's high. Did huge volume today. I'm just trying to show you what's working right now, and I know I don't have like a, you know, golden goose, a magic bullet that I can just tell you, you know, what to do. This is where homework comes in and looking for opportunity. International paper. Look at this. About to break out potentially an all-time high right here. So, you know, maybe do something like this if it takes out that, you know, double top, you know, right there. But what I'm trying to get you to focus on, until, you know, trust me, no one's wanting interest to come back into these momentum stocks more than me. I mean, they're just sexier. They're more fun. You have the potential to make those, you know, 15, 20% moves really easy. Just saying, for the most part, those aren't working right now. Okay, money is flowing into these big caps, and you know, maybe you can't make the big percentage move, but you can see the case of Dell today. I mean, Dell was a beautiful move right here, and you had it on that horseshoe with volume. You know, it was you never seldom do you see a stock like Dell coming through my extreme volume high-low pro, but on that horseshoe today, huge volume. As soon as it took out that high, it was basically a $2.50 move. Yeah, it wasn't, you know, a 15 or 20% move, but still, it definitely makes some money in it. Another one is that you might use, and I'll share both of these with you, above all major SMAs. Okay, these are stocks that are going to be above all their major SMAs. If I go to my window specific filters here, you're going to see that just by putting 0.01 in the min column, they have to be above all their major SMAs. So these are going to be strong stocks too. All right. Now, a lot of these things that had a lot of volume today, yeah, you're going to have to scroll through it. But anyway, this is where, and you're going to obviously see a lot of these. They're going to be redundant as far as what you see over here. But you can see just, you know, just very strong charts. And I would, what I would recommend, guys, is just, and I'm not going to do it for you. It's just, but, you know, maybe, you know, set up on something like this that's gotten away. Maybe this pulls back to the breakout, and you put a alert down here to be alerted if it pulls back to the breakout. Maybe you want to take a look at it. There's no reason to chase stocks. A new product that we just released is based a lot on these ideas that I'm talking to you about relative strength and where the money is flowing. And if you haven't, we do have a channel for it called Relative Strength Alerts, and you might want to take a look at these because these are going to be looking very juicy as well. Look at that. These are just setting up, and obviously these have not run yet, so maybe some opportunity. The market's going to keep going, but once again, we built this because we noticed that, hey, there's a lot of, you know, strong stocks in a lot of cases just keep getting stronger. So this is a great, you know, idea. If maybe not, if you don't want to look at this stuff for trading, at least look at it for investing. Okay, because these can be some great ideas for investing. And I know rotation and all that stuff, but lately there's been a lot of sectors that we haven't seen any rotation into. You know, like some of these alternative energies, the EV plays. You know, the ride that Jamie mentioned, the Neos and things like that. There hasn't been any, you know, much strength there. I mean, you can keep an eyes on those. At some point, the strength will come back into them, but no use of playing the guessing game right now, because it's a dangerous game because money is not flowing there. It's flowing into some of these big caps. All right, Jamie, I see some more stuff coming in. Is there any questions I need to answer?
Yeah, you know, Jim was asking, you know, if we could show him an easy way to find the stocks comprising an ETF and creating a symbol list for the ETF. Unfortunately, when I do that, it's always just go to Google and find that ETF and find the components of it. Because
Yeah,
unless we snuck in some pre-configured lists of ETFs, which I don't think we have, that's really the only way I know how to do it, Andy.
you know, Jim, you missed a very good webinar that I had about 2 weeks ago where I showed you exactly, you know, how to do that. As a matter of fact, I think I can share because I created. I don't know if clients have been added yet though.
Oh, the symbol list sharing.
Yeah, would it? I know it shares with you, but would it share with clients now? Well, let's just try it. Won't hurt.
Yeah, might as well give it a
Okay,
try.
well, let me share these before okay, I'm going to share these real quick. All right. All right, I'm gonna drop these into the chat panel, guys. First is the rangefinder. Yeah, and just use the columns, you know, at your discretion. How you want to use. Maybe you just want to find things that are hitting a 10-day high, but you know, maybe they're not near. You can do that as well. So, rangefinder, and there is the code for that one. And then above all SMAs. I'll just put, let's see, above SMAs. And let's try to do this. Okay, I got to leave this now. Make sure I'm not missing anything that I needed before I close this down, that I created something. I don't think I did. So let me do that. Let me go to my cloud here. Let me see if I can find it here. Sector layout. All right. And copy all. Let me see if this, and you guys try to pull this open right now and tell me if it shares the symbols with you. It may not be available, but yeah, see if you can take that cloud link and open it and see, yeah, if you have the symbols in there, if it, in other words, it loads data for you. Can you please, what's he saying? George, doc, place a doc into the chat. Oh, can you not, I'm putting it into the chat. Do you not have a interface, a little go-to webinar toolbar where you have a chat window in it, George? I can. Were you guys able to pull up that sector layout? Did it have data in it? Oh, great. Well, Waleed says no, but Joseph says yes. Oh, good, good. Great, Jim. I'll tell you where I find most of them. Okay, like if I want to do the SMH top holdings, if you want to look for some, there's quite a few in there, but if you want to figure out what I did, just type in top holdings after an ETF, and then I would just type in market watch, because that is the one I use, because it's really easy to grab these, right? And you can copy and paste these into a Word doc, and it'll format it for you, so you can then, after you do it into a Word doc, you can just grab the symbols from the format. So that's the easiest way I found to do it. But anyway, I'm glad. Oh, no, yeah, you're not going to get anything, Angelo, on your mobile. Sorry about that. You got to be. You're welcome. Oh, you're welcome, George. Great, man. I'm glad you got that. The rangefinder was not populating. You know what? Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me this is going to be better for you anyway on the rangefinder. See, you're going to get all the stocks. All right, yeah. You don't need, it's going to give you all the S&P 500 stocks plus a whole lot more. Any stock that's doing over 500. So let me, and plus you're going to get some stocks that I think that you might miss on the S&P 500. So let me save it and share it like this for you guys. If you want to do the S&P 500, there is a pre-configured S&P 500. I did my own before we had one, but we've added one since then, and so there you can find it in the symbol list. If you just go right click and do symbol list, add existing list, and that's but I think if you do this one right here, the S&P 500, that will work. This is the one I created before we had them pre-configured in here. So I'm pretty sure that's the one. Just get the one that says SP 500. But anyway, we got to move on to the price alerts. And let me get a drink of water real quick. About talked out.
Yeah, we had a little flood of questions there, but a lot of those were just comments. But I think
we
I
caught up
answered all the questions. But if I miss somebody, just resubmit it so it'll scroll down into the latest part of the questions panel.
Yes, Jim. The most recent one I put in there, I forgot I had a personal S&P 500 that I built years ago that I used. So in other words, I created it. But I think it's better if I just put all symbols. So I just switched it to all symbols and reloaded it, Jim. So that's actually because I do have a filter in there for average daily volume. So I think that probably worked better for you anyway. All right, let's take a look at the there we go. And we had, who was it? Did it disappear on me? No, here it is.
It was
Clove.
KJ.
KJ's Clove was the big winner. Isn't that something? That tells you how tough this market is. And look at all these longs that we had in here, and a short won it today by a wide margin.
Look, Andy, that looks like the RMO trade. If you look at RMO
exactly,
and Clove.
yeah, look at that. That's what I'm saying. You get a lot of these moves. I mean, I see this a lot where you think, wow, this is the start of a big move. And Jamie's talking about the same thing. Look at that. You're right. I mean, just a huge volume move and then just a march of death. I tried it. I tried it right here on this day, and I ended up getting out. I tried it on this day. Let me zoom in. Tried it on this day, and then I ended up getting out there because I just said, yeah, this is not working, man. But anyway, yeah, the big winner was a short. Now we did have a good one from Ime on Levi. Was a good call. Happened on this day. I think it happened after hours. It was earnings report and happened after hours on this day, and then this one just kept going. So a nice call there from Ime. But other than that, yeah, you guys can see, I mean, not a lot of, and it's not just you. I mean, this is a lot of people because look at these calls. These are calls that are not big cap, mega stocks like Dell and Microsoft and a lot of your home builders and Home Depot and Lowe's. Hey, that's maybe this week's going to be different. I don't know. Maybe you guys need to search for some of these stocks that are moving, but and I will do the same because yeah, I'm not killing it either. That's for sure. One other thing I wanted to show you today, because this is something I tried and I got stopped out and I jumped back in because I did something here. So obviously a lot of these, plug, I showed you that, just the march of death. But I'm looking at this, and obviously I got stopped out today on the break of that 200, but then I jumped in back at 25 today, okay, in my personal account. And you may ask, well, why in the heck did you do this? Well, the thing was down about 12 or 13%, just getting killed on no real news. And Ballard Power, a lot of them are. I showed you, Sun Power, a lot of these things just really look ugly. But, and this is something when you're looking at a daily and you're looking for areas where you might want to take a chance. And when I do, I'm talking about a small size, okay? I want to show you something. You pull up a weekly. Okay, so watch when I pull up the weekly. I mean, this is just like a man, and it still is. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing, attractive about this chart. But if I pull up the weekly on this thing, to take you a look at this thing. Look at that on the 50 period right there. That's where it hit. I pulled that up. I said, wow, that's interesting. And of course it did. Buyers came in, started defending that 50 period here, and you do kind of have a congestion level over here at that same level. So if there's going to be a bounce, I think this would probably happen tomorrow. And it's funny, Ballard Power, it just goes to show you algos run Bartertown, because look at Ballard Power, almost looks identical. Look at that. Came down, touched this 50 and did the same thing. Did I miss, or did you share his sector analysis? No, I didn't. That should have been, the sector analysis should have been in that whole layout that I shared with you, Jim. But what I wanted to let you guys know, for some of you guys that may be looking to nibble, on stocks that have been just destroyed, and you think they're not going to just go belly up, if you're like me and you don't mind throwing a little and trying a little, because I know, the kind of returns you can get when you hit them, take a look at the weeklies. Okay, just gives you a different perspective on things. First Solar, for example, just sitting here on its 10 period. I'm sorry, 50 period as well. Neo may have more to go. Maybe I may want to set an alert down here if it does come down to this 50 period on Neo. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I wanted to show that, and let's dive in, guys. I'm taking too much time here. Let's do the price alerts, and you guys know how to play, most of you. What we're going to do is erase these so I don't get confused. You know what? This market's a mess. I'm just going to go ahead and erase everything. Oh, I just got it. And I'll put my Neo back in later. Nah, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I think I have some price alerts in there I want to keep. So I'm just going to erase all of these. All right, so here's the way it works. All right, we got a couple starting out. So give me a stock, okay, and give me a price. I'm going to assume it's a long unless you tell me otherwise, okay? If you don't tell me it's a short, I'm going to assume it's long. So let's fire away. First one is James with VSEC. And, oh, this is a low volume one at 45. Okay, he's going to go with a low volume one. That's okay. Let's just put that one in there. Let's see, create price alert. 45, and that is James.
All right, Dale, please put a price in there, and you can only do one.
NVIDIA for Dave is looking for a 646. He's looking for continued momentum in this. And why not? That's where the money's been flowing, and that was Dave Fontaine, wasn't it?
For NVIDIA, yes.
Yes, okay. And then after that, we have Riot. And that is 720 long. So wait, 70-20. Oh, he's going way up here. Well, you know what? It's better to not have one trigger than to have one trigger and be wrong. 720. And who is the name on that? They're getting ahead of me here.
For the
Waleed.
Riot
Yeah.
was Waleed, yes.
And after Waleed was BBKCF.
Yep, it's a real symbol. I just looked at it. I was like, is that even gonna come up?
Okay, yeah, it is. And that is, I need a price on that one. We'll come back to that. Guess is 28.40. Yeah, some of those retailer stocks have been doing well too, and that is EMA.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got BAM at 46.35. Oh wait, it's already trading up to 46.87 in after hours,
Yep.
Paul. So I'm gonna have to go higher than that. I'll give it to you at 46.99 since it looks like it's a. I'm not sure what's going on. We'll do 46.89. Bam. And PLTR, need a price on PLTR. Dale, Omni at 39. Dimitri. And
RH.
RH from Walt at
Big dollars.
619. Okay. And 619.53. And what do we got here?
Double A.
Alcoa. Okay. And that is at 34. That looks pretty good there. 34.30. And Uber long.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
At 62.
Yep, for George.
All righty. We're George.
Next, we've got Donkey Kong at 60.
Okay, man, I hadn't looked at that one in a while. At 60. And that's from Vincent.
Mm-hmm. I think we had a correction on George's Uber. He wanted 61 instead of 62.
Okay, let me go back here and fix that. All righty, and
USO.
oh, playing an oil move here. I like it. It's definitely been strong.
44.30 for Renata.
All righty.
We got good old Walmart next.
Walmart at 145.
Mm-hmm. For Martin. And I think Paulo got his price in there for that BBKCF at 345.
Wait, BB. What was it? BB.
BBKCF.
Okay. KCF at 345.
I believe so.
All righty. And that was Paola.
Paolo.
Okay. Stan, well, you guys got a lot of them.
Then we got Oki, OKE.
Okay.
And that one is 51.91 for Slava.
Back. And that's a long. And then we got sinks. Wait.
Yep. Sinks at 1625 for Stan. Then Dale comes back with PLTR at 30.
PLTR at 30.
That's a pretty big.
Well, he's probably wanting to be sure.
Yeah.
A lot of them today. And mRNA.
Mm-hmm.
And that is at
191.33.
Okay.
Which appears to be a breakout. Or from what I can see, I don't know what the rest of the chart looks like.
For
Angelo. Yep. And I think that's it.
I think that's it. All right. Good job, guys. We had a lot of participants today. Wow. This is a record. All right. Let me share them with everybody so you guys can keep track. And it's going to go in the chat window. Last thing in there, and then I will bring Scotty in and he will march us out of here. All right, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Thanks, everyone. So before we get going, check out the earnings ebook. We'll have a new slide in here for the next one with a new book. So just a reminder, tradeideas.com/earnings. Go ahead and grab that. It's got some great advice for you and also some cloud links that you can use in your new layouts. There's a podcast. We put a new podcast episode up recently, I think just last week. So make sure you get that. Trade Ideas Podcast is the term to search for. The newest one has an interview with David Afariat, one of our managing partners, about how to integrate AI into your trading strategies. Opportunity is a code you can use to save 15% off your first month or year of Trade Ideas or an upgrade from standard to premium. So go ahead and use that before we change that code soon. And you can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook at Trade Ideas Pro. You can find Steve Gomez on Twitter at TISTG. Jamie Hodge is on Twitter at QuantBot. We've also got @Trade Ideas, so find all those. And if you have any questions, email info@trade-ideas.com. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jamie. Have a nice one.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see some of you tomorrow in the support webinar.
See you tomorrow.